Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Yin. I'm going to take you through a 60-minute practice. I have grabbed 2 blocks and a strap, and I'm going to encourage you to do the same. The strap you'll most likely really enjoy. Again, if you don't have an actual yoga strap or blocks, then 2 pillows from like throw pillows from your sofa, and just your belt or your strap from your robe would probably be wonderful, nice and sturdy and comfortable. So we're going to start on our backs in our Shavasana, so just making your way down into that comfortable place. Wherever you decide to come is always your perfect Shavasana or perfect starting pose. Only ever looking for you to be comfortable wherever you've chosen to go. So if you have just come onto your back, just think about maybe taking your feet a little bit wider, maybe even taking your arms further away from the body. Slowly walking your shoulder blades underneath your chest. Just take a moment to feel that expansion. As soon as you walk the shoulders underneath the chest, you should feel a bit of an opening through the front of the body. Then slightly tilting down through your chin, just noticing how it's easier to breathe when we take the restriction out from the overstretch. Bringing yourself into your diaphragmatic breath, your Ujjayi breath. We're looking for the inhales and the exhales through the nostrils. We're looking to deepen, to utilize the body, the breath, the diaphragm, allow the body to relax on its own. As the inhales lengthen, just noticing the exhales will naturally lengthen as well. And we're going to do a breathing exercise before we add any movement this evening. So we're going to take both of our hands onto our belly, just taking your fingertips to surround your belly button. On your inhales and exhales, just noticing the sensation underneath your hands. See if you can make that movement more exaggerated. And then we're slowly going to walk the hands up the torso onto the lower end of the ribs. So just from your fingertips can touch. You should be able to feel your ribs here, just underneath your breasts. Continue with your Ujjayi breathing, and you're looking for the sensation now to feel the ribs opening and closing. They open from right to left. And then we're going to take this one more step higher. We're going to take our hands and move them up to our collarbone. You're still looking for the movement underneath the hands with the inhales and the exhales. Most likely you're going to have to really increase the depth of your breath in order to feel the sensation to move in here. And then we're going to take this breath, this level of our breath, and we're going to maintain that through the entire practice. Always noticing when the mind starts to wander and the stories begin, bringing yourself back to that breath, that deep, long inhale, that long exhale. And then we'll slowly release that and just bring a bit of movement to the body, wiggling fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, maybe taking your chin from right to left. And then slowly bringing the feet together at the end of the mat, pointing those toes for our full body stretch. Inhale as we lengthen. And exhale as release. Deep inhale through the nose. And sigh it out. One more. And then slowly bringing the knees in towards the armpits. Just gently allowing them to dangle here. Gravity's going to naturally start drawing your knees closer to your belly, drawing your thighs closer to the belly. Maybe you gently rock from right to left. Bring some awareness to your lower back here. So just noticing what happens in the spine when we move. We want that awareness for as we move further so we can maintain the length in the spine and not allow the rounding to ever happen. I'm going to use a timer as we move into our actual yin postures as we hold them for 3 to 5 minutes on average. You can choose to stay here, maybe bringing your knees a little bit closer, maybe bringing your hands onto your thighs, finding a bit of compression. Always remembering your knees can stay wide if that's your preference. Excuse me. Wherever you decide to go, it should be comfortable in your body, easily accessible. All the compression does is allows you to actually massage the internal organs. It's really good for the digestive system. When the thighs are into the belly or even close, you should actually be able to feel your belly swell and push into the thighs. And then on the exhale, when we have compression, we can choose to draw our thighs closer to the belly. Always moving into the space that the breath creates. And then we're going to drop down through the left leg and bring the right leg in a little closer for wind relieving on this side. So think about lengthening out through your extended heel and drawing in through your right knee, the right side body, keeping everything else down the mat. Your left shoulder stays on the mat, your left hip stays on the mat. And then we'll slowly switch sides. We'll extend out through the right leg and draw in through the left. Interlacing the fingers. Respect the spine, the length. Inhale as we lengthen. The right heel reaches, the right crown of your head reaches. Exhale, we're drawing that left knee in closer and closer to the left side body. And then we'll gently bring both of our feet onto the mat, find your windshield wash. Windshield wash is typically just a release, looking for a neutral space to come back to. Whenever we move, sometimes we pick up tension through the lower back, through the hip area, so we want to let that go. We're going to take our arms straight out from our shoulders. We're going to take our right ankle over our left thigh, and we're going to allow both of our feet to drop over to the left and take your gaze over the right shoulder. And then slowly coming back to center and switching sides. So your left ankle is coming over your right thigh, and then both of your feet and your knees are drawing over towards the right side of the room, and the gaze is going left. And then we're slowly going to come back to center, windshield wash one more time, and then we're going to make our way onto our bottoms this evening. We're going to start in a seated position. So we're going to start cross-legged. If cross-legged is not really within your practice, it's just not comfortable for you, you can sit on a block. Wherever you are, just thinking about 90 degrees. So you're sitting there comfortably on your bottom or on the block. And then I'm going to come around behind you and I'm going to bring an imaginary wall. I want the back of your body to touch the wall. The body naturally likes to round. See if we can draw everything up into a nice straight line for our imaginary wall to become a 90-degree angle. So both of our sits bones are firmly into the mat, and then everything else is touching the wall. Closing the eyes and just breathing here, just noticing the sensations, the work that's involved in keeping you here, not allowing yourself to come forward. A lot of really small muscles engaged to keep us here. Just noticing that so we can come back to that. And then we're going to find a side stretch from here. So we're going to take our left hand into the mat beside us, and we're going to take our right hand up and over. Your gaze can come up towards that right arm if it feels good within your neck. You can play with walking your hand to wherever feels good. The important part here is your right sits bone is staying on the mat. It wants to come off, but you want a nice stretch through the right side of the body. You should ideally feel this from your right fingertips all the way down to your seating bone there on the right side. Feel the breath. Feel the breath move you as you inhale. Maybe you can go a little deeper on the exhale. And then slowly come back through the center. Take your hands behind you and just switch the grip, the cross of your legs. So whatever leg was on the top is now on the bottom. Take a moment, find your 90 degrees again. Always just that awareness of what the body wants to do. Come back to engagement, 90 degrees. And then we're going to take our right hand into the mat behind us, and we're going to take the left hand up and over. And again, your gaze can come up if that feels good. Your left sits bone is staying on the mat. Get a nice deep stretch down on one side of the body. Fingertips all the way down that side. And then we're slowly going to come back up through center. Take one more moment again, so you quickly back to your 90 degrees. And then we're going to stretch the shoulders a little bit here. So we're going to take our right hand up and over, and we're just going to draw into the back of that arm. 90 degrees again. So not allowing the body to round. See if you can come up nice and straight. And then gently switching sides, so allowing the left arm to come over. And again, 90 degrees. The imaginary wall has been placed behind you again. And then gently allowing that to release. We're going to take our hands behind our head. You're going to interlace your fingers, knuckles towards the back of the room, and you're just going to brace the back of your neck here. See how low down you can draw your hands. Maybe your thumbs can touch into the back of your neck as well. Think about opening your arms as much as possible. It's most likely pretty intense through your shoulders. So again, we're not allowing ourselves to come forward. We're opening. And then we're going to draw the elbows close together. We're going to brace the ears here. So see if you can draw your elbows almost touching, maybe they even touch. You're looking for a lot of support through the head now, through the neck area. And then you're just going to draw your chin towards your chest. Spine stays pretty straight here. You're looking to get a stretch down the back of your neck, maybe into your back. We're not looking to round just yet. We're actually pulling down. And then gently releasing yourself back up, open. Smile through any tightness, any tension. And then gently letting that go. Slowly rolling through the shoulders. And then we will just allow ourselves to roll in now. So now allowing gravity to take over. Whatever comes naturally here. Your palms can be faced up. They can be far away from the body if you like. They can be up. Listen to your body. Where does your body find release? And then we'll slowly bring ourselves back up. We're going to stretch through the shoulders one more time here. So we're going to take the arms up and over. And then on your exhale, you're going to drop your right arm underneath your left arm and find a bind. So you're drawing your elbows together, then the forearms touch and the palms come together. If this is not available to you, you are grabbing for opposite elbows. Wherever you are, think about drawing your elbows up higher. And if you have your palms interlaced, think about taking your palms away from the face. The higher up your elbows come, the more intense this is going to become in your shoulders. Think about your breath moving entirely into your shoulder girdle here. Every inhale, we feel ourselves lengthen. And on the exhale, maybe we can take the hands farther, or we can find a deeper opening through that back body, right up into the shoulder blades. And then gently releasing, just allowing the arms to come down, rolling the shoulders back and forth, up to the ears, down, whatever feels good to you. And then we'll take the hands behind us and we will change the cross of our legs again. Always just everything even here. So your top leg is now where we began. And then the other sides, we take the arms straight up and find our bind. This time the left arm is going to come underneath the right arm. Elbows touch and then we bind. The forearms touch and palms come together. If this is not available, again, you're just grabbing onto opposite shoulders. You're drawing up through the elbows. And if your hands are bound, you're taking the hands away from the face. Breathing into this tension, breathing into whatever discomfort you have found in the shoulder girdle. See if you can send your breath there in its entirety to find more length and possibly more space. And then gently releasing, taking the arms back down, once again, just moving in any way that comes natural to you. Most people are extremely tight through the shoulders, and then we add all the nerve endings there, and we become tingly, numb, quite normal. And we'll just roll the head from right to left, just letting it go. Maybe a big circle in the back. And then we are going to make our way onto our mats, onto our backs. We're going to come into legs up a wall. You're more than welcome to come to a wall. I'm just going to use a block this evening. If you do not have a yoga block, another great substitute for a block for a lot of yin postures is just a folded up blanket or a folded up towel. Anything that gives you a bit of support and just takes your tailbone away from the floor, basically moving your pelvis. So then drawing yourself down when you're ready, bringing your feet in a little bit closer. They're about hip distance apart, grounding through your heels, just enough to slide the block under on its lowest height, or your towel or pillow, whatever you've chosen to use this evening. If you are on a block or anything a bit harder, make sure wherever you come down is comfortable. When you sit down through your sacrum, everything should sit flat. And then when you're ready, playing with lifting one leg up, and then the other leg. There is no rush, and this should be quite easy, comfortable to stay here. If you're feeling any discomfort in the lower back, you need to come down and readjust the prop that you're using. Again, all this is doing is tilting me to make it easier to stay here. There really is no work involved, and we're just hanging out here for a little while to allow the blood to drain. The hands are just going to be comfortably at your sides. I'm just going to start a timer so we keep things even. If you want to stretch your shoulders even more, you're always welcome to take your hands overhead. When the hands come overhead, the shoulders naturally stretch and expand. If that's too much for you, but you want a shoulder stretch, you can also take your hands just into goalpost arms, just bending at the elbows. It still adds a shoulder stretch. You'll feel your shoulder blades coming apart on your back. And if you come there and it becomes too much, you can always release. Always remembering it is your practice. Yin, we stay for quite some time, again, that 3 to 5 minutes, so you should be able to breathe through the tension that you're finding in your body. Closing the eyes, and see if you can come back to that diaphragmatic breath we started with. Maybe even taking your hands back to your belly, your ribs, or your collarbone, just to utilize the breath and make sure the breath is still fluid, full, and moving through your body. Maybe closing the eyes, just enjoying the sensations and enjoying the breath moving through the body. Coming back to the breath if you've lost it. Just a little bit longer here. Deep inhales, followed by long exhales. And then bringing some awareness back. So just gently moving in any way that feels good. Most likely it's just going to be the toes. Maybe moving the wrists, maybe drawing your arms down if you had them up that entire time, rolling through the shoulders. And then we're slowly going to come out of here. So just taking one foot down, just waiting a breath or so, just noticing how that feels. And then when you're ready, following with the other foot, gently grounding through your heels, lifting up through the back just enough to remove the prop, allowing yourself to come back down. We'll take our feet about mat distance apart and allow the knees to fall in towards each other. Hands can come onto the belly again if that feels good. It really does help to deepen your breath. So now we're seeing if we can bring the breath to the back body. So instead of feeling the belly rise and swell, see if you can feel the expansion on your lower back, maybe into the ribs, anywhere your body is touching the mat. And then if you're ready, you're welcome to gently rock from right to left. If you're still feeling or found any tension in your lower back, you're just going to stay exactly where you are. Find the release before going forward. And then we are going to make our way into a thread the needle. So we'll have many options this evening. So with the typical thread the needle, you're going to take your right foot up towards the ceiling, point the toes, and then find the engagement by drawing the toes down and the heel up. As you drop that right ankle over the left thigh, your pivot point is your ankle. See if you can draw your right knee away from the body without doing anything, just from engaging through the thigh. If you're already feeling a stretch there, you're going to stay here to start. If you're not feeling anything or you want to try something different, full thread the needle is drawing your hands to a space you've created and grabbing onto the back of your thigh or your shin. Whatever is available to you while still maintaining the length of your spine. So then, if that is a little too much for you, because we are going to be staying here for 5 minutes, you can play with dropping a block underneath your left foot, your pillows, your blanket, your folded towel, whatever feels good. You can get it in the right spot. You can actually push down through your left foot. It's going to engage through that leg, and then you might be able to find more space in the right side. And if that's not something that you want to do, another option is taking your strap onto the back of your left thigh And your shoulders come down, your elbows come down, and you use the strap to draw your left knee in closer instead of the hands on the back of your legs. At any point in anything, especially in a yin practice, doesn't feel good, you're going to make your way out into anything that does feel better. And if you come into it and you find after a few moments you have more space, you actually feel yourself open, you're more than welcome to come deeper into it. Always remembering, I don't know, scale of 1 to 10 in a yin, you should be at about a 6. You want to be able to easily breathe into the tension that you've found within the body, whatever that tight area is. If we go a little farther than that, we go right to the edge, we go right into 10, it's going to be very hard to stay there. You're most likely going to stop breathing, and then the body becomes tighter and tighter. So we are looking for the opposite. We want the release, so you should be able to breathe, and then maybe choosing to move deeper as we stay in something for any length of time. Breathing into your body. Maybe visualizing your hands on the belly, on the rib cage, on the collarbone, just helping yourself come back to that deep, deep breathing. Sometimes it's harder to breathe deeply when we go into tight areas. We're a little over halfway here, so maybe deciding to take yourself a little bit deeper. Or maybe just taking an assessment of the body and determining you're exactly where you need to be. If you're feeling a lot of tension, maybe smiling. Smiling helps the body relax. Few more deep breaths here, almost done. whatever comes naturally and feels good within your body coming out. Very normal to feel a little bit of tingly, just moving in any way that comes natural. Maybe it's extending the leg, bending the leg. Windshield washing. Again, what feels good in your body at this moment in time. And then when you're ready, we're slowly going to make our way on the other side. So whatever you just did on that side, I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing on the other side. This is a nice big muscle. We want to keep something, we want to keep it as even as possible, even though the body's different on both sides. So your left foot comes up, find that stretch, that engagement, then change the engagement by heel shooting up, toes down, activated leg drops down, and then make your way wherever you were on the other side. And again, wherever you've chosen to come, making sure you can breathe, making sure you have caused more tension in the body by holding the breath. Very normal though when we come into difficult postures, especially when we're very tight. If you sit a lot, you can be very tight in this posture. See if you can find the breath, and if you've gone too deep, you're just going to release yourself into a place where you can breathe. Maybe again, visualizing your hands with the sensation of breath underneath the hands. From the beginning of the practice, when we were breathing, we had our hands on either the belly, the ribs, the collarbone. Back to that level of breath. More than halfway done here. wherever you are, slowly making your way out of this side and moving in any way that feels natural and feels good in your body. When we hold these poses for long, it's very normal to not feel or to feel very anxious to come out of them. So just moving slowly, feeling the breath move through the tension. And then we will bring the soles of our feet nice and wide again, mat distance, and allow the knees to fall in. See if you can bring your breath entirely to the back body again. Feel the breath at the back of your skull. Feel the chest expand or the ribs expand on the mat. And see if you can feel a little bit of release in the lower back. And then we're going to come into reclined butterfly, so taking the soles of your feet together and allowing the knees to open like a book. So the depth of this posture or the open knee space is up to you. You can walk your heels in closer to the body for a more intense opening. You can also take your feet far away from the body for a much more of an almost just diamond shape, but it will allow the hips to open more and it won't be as intense for most people. So it's finding your posture, what feels good for you, and then breathing into that sensation. Hands can go on the inner thighs for a little more of extra weight. Hands can go on the belly, great place to make sure you're breathing. If you want to come back to that shoulder stretch, the arms can come overhead or goalpost arms. See if you can bring your breath ideally right into the inner thighs. So you would bring the breath down the body, it would surpass the belly, and see if we can find some length through the inner thighs. That's most likely where you're going to feel the tightness. As your body starts to release, you may be feeling this on the outer thighs. If it's ever too much, you're welcome to take your hands into fists and prop the thighs up. You've also got blocks or pillows or blankets, whatever you've brought with you. It might aid you in staying here longer. And if your hands are not on your belly, maybe bringing yourself back to that visualization of the beginning, feeling or noticing the movement through the body. When the breath stays full and deep and long, the body actually opens. The body just learns to trust you a little more. It'll help you find more space and release some tension. When we're in this posture for a while, it generally becomes pretty intense. See if you can release your glutes. The glutes naturally engage as a protective mechanism. See if you can take your breath down your back body, down your spine, all the way to your tailbone, and find a little release right at the bottom there. And then gently we're going to bring ourselves out of this. So we're going to take our hands onto our outer thighs and slowly close the knees up like a book. Walk the feet again, you want mat distance apart, and gently allow the knees to fall in. If you've got tension in the lower back, you're going to stay. If you're ready for movement, you're more than welcome to just find a gentle winter wash. Always asking you to listen to your body. And then when you're ready, we're slowly going to make our way over onto our hands and our knees. We're actually going to get into child's pose, a nice wide-legged child's pose, or maybe a supported child's pose. If you brought pillows with you, you're more than welcome to drape them down the middle of your mat so you can prop yourself up on them. Standard child's pose is just you dropping down through your forehead. Knees can be nice and wide. It'll give you more space to allow the belly and the chest to come down. If you've got sensation through the lower back, you might feel nicer having your knees closer together and then allowing the forehead to come onto the mat. The closer the knees are together, the more support you get through your lower back. So coming into it in any way that feels good and natural to you. Maybe gently windshield washering from right to left through the forehead. This is going to depend how you came into this posture. Wherever you are, making sure you're breathing. Remember that beautiful sensations we started with, just that long inhale, and even longer on the exhales. Just a little while longer here, about 10 more really deep, long breaths. And then we're slowly going to make our way out of this. So wherever you are, walking your hands back, bringing them back to the mat, and just slowly rolling yourself up. Take a moment here, find that readjustment, nice 90 degrees. Think about that wall coming behind you again. If I were to actually come behind you with a long piece of wood and slide it behind you, would you feel the back of your head on the wood? Would you feel the back of your shoulders there, as well as your lower back? And then we're just going to let ourselves come forward. We're going to come onto our bottoms. We're going to stretch out a little here. We're going to take our legs nice and wide. So everyone's version of opening will be different here. Your legs can be much closer together if that feels better. Some of you might have a lot of space and you really need to take your legs wide to find a stretch sensation. So just starting in the center, we want to be engaged through the backs of the legs. So we're pushing down through the heels and we're drawing our toes in towards the knees. And both of our sits bones are evenly on the mat, and that imaginary wall is behind us again, just so we feel the sensation of full engagement. And then we're going to let go of the hamstrings, just maybe rolling circles through the ankles to make sure we've released. We always want the engagement to start to make sure the hips and everything are stacked appropriately. appropriately in our bodies. And then we're just gonna find a stretch on one side. So we're gonna take our right foot in towards our left extended thigh here. Inhale, find length through the center. Exhale, we're gonna twist over, find the extension again, but this time just through the left leg. So the toes come back in, the heel shoots out, the heel shoots down, and then we open even more. And then we think about drawing down. So your aim here is your belly touching your thighs, not your nose coming down. Once we take the gaze down, we round. Ideally, I'd like you to keep your chest open. Think about the shoulder blades drawing together. Hands can come onto the leg. If you can easily grab your foot, you can do that. But it's more about length. So we don't want to round in order to come deeper. We want to find more length through the spine and allow ourselves to come flatter. Find length on the inhale. Feel yourself open. Just noticing the sensations through breath. The body will naturally lift and expand. And maybe there's more space to move into on the exhale. And then we're just going to release here. So let go of the engagement in the leg. Allow the spine to round. The crown of your head may actually come all the way down to the leg. It may just hover there somewhere. Let it go. Just letting go of the tension, maintaining the breath. And then we'll slowly roll back up through to seated and switch sides. So we're going to take our right leg nice and long, activate as we shoot out. Left heel comes in, no rush, really find the activation. So the toes are coming to the knee, the heel is pushing out, the heel is pushing down. It's going to stay grounded on that mat. Inhales are going to lengthen, we're going to open through that chest, and on the exhale we're coming forward, belly to thigh, probably will never touch. Think about lengthening through the spine as opposed to rounding to get there. It's even perfect to be up here as long as we're breathing and lengthening. And again, your hands can go on the legs. Some of you can probably easily touch your foot, but it's just about being long and breathing. There's no end goal here. It's just finding more length so we can move into the space. Feel your belly touch the thigh. And on the exhale, you feel the belly come away from the thigh. Maybe you can move into the space that it's left, the space it's created with breath. And then let it go. Allow everything to relax. Gravity just pulls us down now. And slowly rolling ourselves back up. We'll bring both of our feet together and allow the knees to open. If your knees are way up here and you're feeling pretty uncomfortable, you're going to sit yourself on a block. The block will prop you up and allow the knees to come down a little bit more. If you have a lot of space here, you're going to take your hands behind your back, straighten up, and maybe think about walking your bottom closer to your heels. Wherever you are, we'll start here actually with your hands behind your back just to make sure we're at a 90-degree angle. Take a peek down at your feet. So your heels are pushing in, the balls of your feet are pushing in. Your toes are actually coming apart from each other. The activation through the feet will actually help you find more length and engagement on the inner thighs, which will allow you to come deeper and deeper here. The hands behind the back helps to keep us open. And on the exhale, maybe you can walk your hands closer and bring yourself over. You're looking for length, and then maybe just a little bit of depth or opening through the hips. If you're not feeling a stretch here, you're going to take your hands to your toes, front. Think about lengthening and dropping down that way. But again, it's not about rounding, it's about lengthening. Think about opening the chest and having a nice flat back as you make your way forward and the belly comes towards the heels. And then let all of that go, just rounding in, palms palms up. And we're slowly going to roll ourselves back up through seated. And we're slowly going to make our way onto our backs. Making our way into a supported bridge here. Just a back bend, a chest opener before we come into our final resting posture. So we're going to use the block again, or your pillows, your towel, whatever you're using. Try to make it a little bit higher this time. We've already done quite a bit of work through the hip area, so you should have a bit more space. Bring your heels in close to the bottom ground, through them, draw yourself up, and slide the block if you're comfortable on the second height. If you're not, you're going to drop it down to the lower height. There is never a right or wrong. It's what feels good in your body and is not causing any pinching. When you drop down through that sacrum, you should not feel any discomfort in your lower back or in your body at all. Take your hands beside you, palms up, and walk your shoulder blades underneath your chest, just like Shavasana. You can choose to stay here, or if you feel you have more space, you can play with extending the legs. Once you extend the legs, it's going to open you even more through the front of your body. If it is too much, you can always bring your feet back onto the mat. You can always lower your block. See if you can come back to where we began again. Just back to the breath. Deep, deep breath, deep movements through the body. And we're slowly going to bring ourselves out of this. So we're gently going to walk one foot back, then the other. When you're ready, grounding through the heels, just lifting enough to remove the block, keeping yourself in a nice secure posture here for breath, and then slowly allowing your hips, your spine to round back down towards the mat. Once you touch down, maybe windshield washing, or maybe choosing to come into reverse corpse again, which is with your feet nice and wide and the knees touching. Always listening to your body, especially when you get into the lower back. And then when you're ready, we're just going to release ourselves into our final Shavasana for the evening. So dropping down into whatever feels comfortable to you. I'm going to encourage you to walk your shoulder blades underneath your chest again to allow that expansion. Tilting down through the chin. Feel the body move throughout the breath move throughout the entire body for a few more levels, a few more lengths, a few more inhales, a few more exhales. And then when you're ready, slowly bring some awareness back. You're more than welcome to stay exactly where you are in your Shavasana and continue there. I'm going to make my way into a comfortable seat. We'll take a few final breaths together, no matter where you've chosen to be. I always encourage the same thing. At the end of every practice, I encourage every practitioner just to take a moment to thank your body. We were given this miraculous device to carry us through life, through our days. And unfortunately, I don't believe we always respect that body. Just thank it for carrying you through the day, for getting up in the morning. Be grateful for allowing you to practice, as not everyone is physically capable of doing so. I thank you for practicing with me this evening, and I encourage you to take your practice with you off of the mat. Namaste. Until we meet again.